Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Good morning, it's the Workers' Beat. I'm Gene Lantz, and this is
Bonnie Mathias.
And we're here to talk about workers' issues. 972-647-1893 is the number if you would like to call, because the station likes it when you call. Today at 10 o'clock, join the Dallas Area Christian Progressive Alliance for a social media workshop. Now, I suspect this is at the church on Preston, but they didn't say where it was going to be. So it's 10 o'clock, and if you're with the Dallas Area Christian Progressive Alliance, call us at 972-647-1893 and tell us where it will be.
Where is it?
Now, Cooper Caraway and Christy Lara, they did say where they're going to be, but I didn't write it down. That's at 3 p.m., and it's somewhere on Dyer Street. It has to do with a community project. So Cooper Caraway and Christy Lara, if you're listening, or if somebody's associated with the action today at 3 o'clock, call us at 972-647-1893.
I can't hear.
Let us know what's going on.
I don't think.
Today, there's going to be a big Twitter action for Walmart. Now, Bonnie,
Really?
could you
Cool.
explain what a Twitter action is? Because I don't know.
Well, I think, and I'm not real Twitter, I don't know,
Not
savvy.
Twitchy? You're not-
I don't tweet a lot. I think it means that people tweet the same thing to
somebody.
To somebody.
Okay. So if you know about the Twitter action for Walmart today, please call us at 972-647-1893 and share. Because, a lot of people want to get active and they need the information. Now, here's one I actually do know where and when. This will be on July the 2nd at 10 a.m. Stand Up for Social Security. And this will take place at 6510 Abrams Road, 75231. That's in Dallas. It's just a little bit toward the north end and pretty close to Highway 75. 6510 Abrams Road. Stand Up for Social Security. And I will put it into the rumors now. They are not going to chain themselves to the building. The chains, there's chains involved, but I think they're paper chains.
Okay, good.
So do not fear. They're not going to chain themselves to the building.
Don't bring your
6510 Abrams Road on July 2nd at 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, on July 2nd, that afternoon, there will be an action over the National Labor Relations Board. Now, Bonnie, maybe you want to explain what's going on with the National Labor Relations Board.
President Obama appointed some folks to the National Labor Relations Board during a break in Congress. It's an appointment that he can do if Congress is not in session. Well, Congress all of a sudden decided, well, that's not legal. You can't do that. We were in session. So all these guys that were appointed to the National Labor Relations Board are hanging out there. They're not appointed. They can't work. It's just the National Labor Relations Board is at a standstill.
And that's exactly what they wanted.
That's exactly what they want.
That's why the certain senators, would not allow regular appointments to be made to the National Labor Relations Board. They want to stop everything that happens in labor relations. And they're doing it.
I think that's anything that happens anywhere.
Yeah. Now, the president's tried to make these appointments. He's tried every which way there is to get these appointments made. And then certain senators, not the majority of the Senate, but certain minority senators
Tea Party.
are blocking it. And it is their stated goal to put an end to the National Labor Relations Board. They consider this a good thing. Mm-hmm. So that would mean that we would no longer be able to settle labor problems in an orderly way. So
Right.
it would there'd be class war, in other words.
Sure.
Nothing you can do except go on strike and
then, of course, if you go on strike,
take really strong
right.
efforts.
It's horrible. It's disgusting. I'm really excited to see what happens with President Obama's appointment to head the FBI.
Yeah, they'll probably pass that one because that was a Bush guy that he appointed to the FBI.
But there's Republicans that are also being appointed to the National Labor Relations Board, and their appointments are also being blocked.
Yeah, but that's because they're trying to kill the National Labor Relations Board. They're not trying to kill the FBI.
Are you sure?
They like the FBI. With the history that the FBI has and opposing civil rights, they like the
That's
FBI.
true.
They like it good.
That point.
Lots of other stuff going on. Call us at 972-647-1893 and let people know. You know, you can't blame people for not being active if you don't tell them when the actions are and what's going on and
That's
what
right.
it all means.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing that we have the Workers' Beat because we explain it the best we can and we bring the information the best we can accumulate it.
Yes.
The one on the National Labor Relations Board, we don't know the time and place.
Right.
But it will probably be a delegation to a congressman or a senator or something like that. This is a national action. So one reason for doing it is because everybody else is going to be doing it in other cities, and so you're supporting them, even though your congressman may be deaf, dumb, and blind and not listen to you at all. At least you're doing something.
That's such a nice way of putting it.
It is a nice way of putting it. Another way of saying it is that he's just dead set against anything that working people want or need.
Exactly.
And this is going on. It's true. The Alliance for Retired Americans is mobilizing people in 40 cities across the country to form human chains on this issue of what we call the chained CPI. It's just a cut in Social Security. Don't get bogged down in trying to figure out exactly how it works. I mean, I could explain it, but it'd take another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The important thing is that it's a cut in Social Security.
That's
and
exactly
unfortunately, it's not just a Republican cut. This has been proposed by President Obama. So it's more dangerous. Anyway, try to get out and do some of those things. There's a new report from the National Institute on Retirement Security, which concludes that the United States faces a staggering retirement savings deficit. In other words, we're short of cash, folks. Everybody ought to have a decent right to retire, but we are way out of the running as far as savings go, because you need savings, Social Security, and Medicare if you're going to retire. They're out to cut Medicare and Social Security, that's for sure. And so your savings is important.
Yeah.
And here's how much they say the deficit is. American families are between $6.8 trillion and $14 trillion short of recommended retirement savings targets. So when you add it all together, how much money each person needs to be able to retire, and you add it all together, it comes out over $6.8 trillion. That means that we don't have enough to retire. Is the right to retire going to continue in America, or are they going to succeed in taking it away? And by they, I mean specifically the majority leaders in the House who are actually out to cut and take away your right to retire. It's amazing because of Senator Cornyn. Senator Cornyn is one of the people who gets a 0 rating on everything to do with retirement, everything that retirees check on. Senator Cornyn is against. And yet, he has already retired 3 times. And we'll
Isn't that nice? He has 3 pensions?
We'll have a 4th retirement. He is drawing pensions, 3 pensions right now, on top of his salary. So, looks like Senator Cornyn would have a little more sympathy with people who need to draw a pension. And his pensions are not to be sneezed at either. I think the smallest one's $48,000.
A year?
A year. So Senator Cornyn's got 3 pensions, and yet is against people who want to get a pension.
What a guy.
And the same thing is true of Governor Goof Perry, who is also drawing a big pension in addition to his salary.
Wasn't he a teacher?
No, he wasn't a teacher.
No,
I think he was a land commissioner or something like that.
That's it, land commissioner.
And that gave him a pension. It was a big pension, though. It's like $58,000 or something like that, on top of his salary.
No wonder he doesn't want to leave office.
These are people that are dead set against you having the right to retire, but look at the retirement that they're racking up, you know. See if they turn down their Social Security and see if they turn down their Medicare.
Right.
You can bet that they're going to take it. Some employers are doing a really dirty deed. I did not become aware of this until last night, and I saw it from the internet. It was published in a newspaper called In These Times. Some employers in low-wage industries are asking their employees to shoulder the entire cost of issuing payroll checks. In other words, here's what they do. They say, I'm going to give you a debit card, and I'll put so much money in the debit card every time it comes time for you to get a payday. And what they don't say is that there's all kinds of fees on those debit cards. Like if you use them at an ATM, it's like $1.50. You know, if you try to get some cash or something, you know,
It costs you money. It costs you fees.
So it costs you
Wow,
money.
how nice.
So
You get to pay for your own paycheck.
So
Cool.
the boss no longer has the expense of printing your paycheck and giving it to you, because he's just hired some service, you know, to put a certain amount on your debit card. But you have all these expenses associated with the debit card, and this is another rotten deal. Another way that another place where we
It's
need to stand
wage
up.
theft. It is nothing less than wage theft.
Yeah, and wage theft is very, very, very serious problem.
And
in this
very
country.
prevalent in this country. It's disgusting.
972-647-1893. Now, Bonnie and I don't like it when working people get cuts and get their pensions taken away or get their National Labor Relations Board thrown in the trash or something. But you have opinions.
I
and
do.
I'm sure that you'd
And
like.
I'm sure everybody does.
I'm sure that everybody would like to call in 972-647, make their opinions be
Yeah.
known. Are you outraged at what's going on?
And if you're not, what's wrong with you?
Well, if you're not, you
If
can
you're
still
not,
call.
you should call us and tell you why you're
You
not
could
upset
call and
about
say,
it.
I like the way things are going. Walmart, the Walmart family is one of my favorite families, and the dirtier that workers get treated, it's okay with me.
You know,
Go ahead.
Gene, about Walmart, I've heard people say, well, you know, because the economy is really bad, people are forced to shop at Walmart. I've never seen anybody hold a gun to anybody's head and make them go to Walmart and spend money.
That's probably true, Bonnie, but it is cheaper at Walmart
It
for
really
a lot of things.
isn't. It really isn't. I'm telling you, because I shop at Walmart for my mother-in-law every other week. I shop for myself at Kroger and Dollar General. I spend less than she does.
Okay, maybe she eats more than you do.
No, that's not it.
All right. Let's see what Michael has to say. Thanks for calling, Michael.
Hi, Brother Gene. How are you?
All right, brother.
I got that old globalized the struggle bumper sticker you gave me. How are you doing?
You mean the globalization?
No, globalized the struggle with the big red fist.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I have one question about the person with the payroll taxes and the debit card.
Yeah.
And the person receiving the check, is it a paycheck that has deductions like federal, all of the deductions, or are they self-employed, or are they subcontractors?
As far as I know, the debit card just gets the net. In other words, all you see on your debit card is just the net. And I wonder kind of how they're going to keep track of their income taxes and stuff like that, because you're supposed to print all that stuff on your check, aren't you, Bonnie?
You are, but a lot of companies have gotten to the point where they don't print checks. They encourage direct deposit for your check. So you never see, you get a pay stub, but you have to log on to the computer and print it out. You don't just get one.
Don't sound legal. It sounds like somebody ought to bring this to court. I just got a note from Annie who says that McDonald's gives out those
debit cards?
and I don't know if they do it in all places, but if they're doing it at all, it ought to be looked at. Because if you have to pay fees just to get your paycheck, it's bad enough.
Yeah.
A lot of low wage workers have trouble cashing their checks.
Yeah, because they
Too.
don't have a bank account, and and they'll end up having to go to one of these check cashing places.
Yeah,
and they
it's
charge
only a step from that to those payday
payday
loan
loans.
guys.
Hey, they're all right there in the same building.
Yeah.
You can go to one window to cash your check and to the next window to get you a payday loan.
Yeah, it's pretty sad some places. If you see where poor people get paid, you'd be shocked and surprised, I think, to see how many vultures there are just waiting for them to come to appear with their check. So this debit card business is just another slap in the face, in my opinion. But somebody can call. You can give us your opinion, 972-647-1893. It ain't just me and Bonnie that are allowed to have opinions in the city of Dallas. Since the 1970s, the United States has become increasingly unequal in terms of income, wages, wealth, and opportunity. Today, 1% of Americans are taking home nearly 20% of the country's total income and own nearly 35% of the country's wealth. That's 1%, and they're getting 20% of the income, and they already own 35% of the country's wealth, according to the Economic Policy Institute. And frankly, those are low numbers.
I think so, too.
I've heard higher numbers.
Much higher.
With other studies. 972-647-1893. Now, if you happen to be Danielle Abril of the Dallas Business Journal, you can call and interview me again about Walmart. It seems that people are interested in talking to me about Walmart.
Really?
Yes, for some strange reason. It's because Walmart sued me.
They did?
Yes, just the other day, I got up in my pajamas to answer the door, and there was a process server, and I've been sued by Walmart. I'm not the only one. They're also suing North Texas Job of Justice, the United Food and Commercial Workers International, and the what's the other one's being sued? Oh yeah, Our Walmart. Our Walmart is the association that's trying to organize
Organization
Walmart workers
United for Respect at Walmart.
and get some kind of decent treatment for
I
Walmart
didn't get
workers.
one of those.
You didn't get sued?
No.
Well,
I really feel left out, too.
I think I'm one of the very few blessed with this wonderful burden.
I saw the article. In fact, one of my friends sent me a text message and told me to be Phyllis Guest, who calls into the show. She sent me an email and told me to be careful. Because she didn't want to see me get arrested.
Well, I'm not in danger of being arrested. What Walmart is suing for is they want to get an injunction against my going on their property at all to do anything.
Unlawful activities.
I think something like that.
Yeah, that's what
I consider this a desperate plea for sympathy from Walmart. I think that they're trying to portray me as the big bully and Walmart as this poor little innocent company that never did nothing wrong.
That employs more people than anybody else in this world.
Being picked on by an old gray-bearded retiree.
Dang. Gene, you're hot, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Spindly legs.
You're gonna have
pot belly.
Man, you're gonna have all kinds of stuff going on.
Well, I have gotten. It was in the morning news, or rather on their electronic version, and they made a mistake there, and I want to get this mistake cleared up. They said that I was the chairman of UAW Local 848. I am not the chairman. The chairman is the most important office in the whole union. They run the grievance procedure and head the negotiating team, or well, largely. They do a lot of the work on the negotiating team.
Right.
So I'm not the chairman. I'm the chairman of retirees.
Right.
At UAW 848. And
so let's get that cleared up out there.
So they put me down as the chairman. So I'm sorry if Chairman Stroud is listening. I apologize. We'll be right back.
Well, I got to work this morning. Something seemed kind of strange. My buddy Joe was missing. There's a machine set in his place.
The Dallas Summer Food Program is returning this summer. The DISD Food and Child Nutrition Services, the Texas Department of Agriculture, and other sponsors are working together to offer the Summer Food Service Program from June 17th to August 2nd for Dallas children. Meals and snacks will be provided to children ages 1 through 18 at specific sites throughout Dallas. To find out more info, the phone number is 211, or their website is squaremeals.org. Or their text keyword is FoodTX at 877-877.
When they're gone for good. This is Scott from KNON's Texas Blues Radio telling you don't miss out on some great blues. KNON's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 Blues CD. It's a CD put together by real blues fans for real blues fans like you. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 features great local blues from Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, JJ and the Detonators, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone with Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ass Kicking Machine, Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, and Johnny Red and the Roosters. Get a copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Record Town in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records. This is a Dallas Blues collector's item. A very limited amount of vinyl copies can be found at Forever Young Records, the sponsor of this great blues project. CD downloads are available at cdbaby.com. Whether you get it as a download, on vinyl, or on CD, all the proceeds will benefit KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit knon.org.
This is William, your videographer for the KNON talk shows. You can watch Workers Beat by going to knon.org website. Click on schedules to the left side of your screen. Choose Workers Beat's page. Scroll to the bottom of the page, then choose your favorite show to watch or download. This show will be ready for viewing by lunchtime Tuesday. Have a great day.
Blue Monday, I hate Blue Monday.
I hate Blue Monday, but I like Saturday pretty good.
Yes.
If you get into the rest of that song, he does Saturday morning, all my tiredness has gone away.
That's right, because Saturday morning, we're raring to go.
972-647-1893 is the number. We like it when you call, and so does the station, because KNON's the voice of the people.
That's right.
We were talking about Walmart, and I think the fact that they are suing me and that they named me personally as a defendant in their lawsuit, I think is just a big misunderstanding. So Walmart, if you are listening, we still expect a big donation next time we do a financial...
or anytime, actually. We'll accept the donation anytime.
Yeah, I think this is just a misunderstanding.
I think so.
And I think the millions that they've got carried around in their back pocket is still going to come toward KNON.
That's right.
One of these days. So I'm sorry if they were offended or something, but I'm sure it's just a misunderstanding.
I'm sure it is too.
I'll say that in court, that I still expect millions and millions of dollars to come running into KNON from the Walmart family, because after all, they've got it. They wouldn't even miss it.
No, they wouldn't.
Just back on that whole business of the lawsuit. Don't worry about me. They're not threatening to put me in jail or anything. What they want is an injunction against my going on their property. So don't worry about it as far as what you do. And I want to point something out too, because something you just said, Bonnie. I'm not telling people to not shop at Walmart. As far as I understand it, there is no boycott against Walmart. Now, a lot of my friends, when they hear that people say that Walmart doesn't treat their employees right, which is true, then they say, well, I'm not going to shop there. And of course they have that right if they want to. But I want to point out that is not the program that we're doing the pickets and stuff like that for. Our program is to organize the workers at Walmart. If they're organized and if they want a raise, then they can get it if they're properly organized. Or if they want full-time working hours, then they can get it. Or if they want dignity on the job and respect, then they can get it if they get organized.
Well, that's how Walmart portrays themselves in their commercials.
Well, all we want is to give those guys a chance to get organized. Those men and women who work for Walmart, we want to give them a chance to get organized. That's the only reason that I picket or leaflet, or say anything. By the way, Bonnie, probably the reason I got picked out to be sued is because of you. Because you get me on this radio show and you get me to talking. So
I knew it was going to end up being my fault. There was no doubt in my mind. That's because I was raised by a Jewish mother, so there you go. Everything is my fault.
Everything is your fault.
Always has been. That's all right.
So if you have an opinion on Walmart or the organizing drive there for people to get better wages and better treatment, give us a call, 972-647-1893. Now, I have another little note about Walmart in here somewhere. Oh, yeah, a new report that was issued Tuesday shows that Walmart and the Walton family that founded and controls the company have dramatically increased their political contributions over the last decade, and that the vast majority of those contributions have gone to Republicans and right-wing causes, including anti-gay, anti-environment, and pro-gun politicians and causes. I got that from United Food and Commercial Workers.org. It's ufcw.org. And it's true. I remember I first got interested in Walmart's political actions back when Kay Bailey Hutchison was first elected. That they had contributed a big bunch of money to get this Republican elected because there was some argument at that time as to whether or not a Democrat could take that seat, and the Walmart family came in heavy on the Republican side
and fixed it.
And that was years and years ago. And of course, everybody says it's not Sam Walmart. You know, it's that old Sam was okay, but it's his kids that are so rotten. I don't know if that is true or not.
Yeah, I don't know either. I do know Sam's original vision of Walmart was a American-made. Do I hear a siren somewhere? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. They're coming to get us. That's it. Party's over.
Now you've really
now
done it.
you've done it. That's right. Okay, we're all right.
Well, you're saying Sam was better than his kids.
Well, I think Sam's original vision was American-made products at decent prices for the normal citizen to go in and buy. I think that was his original vision.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, greed, I'm sure, overtook him and then just kind of fed over to his kids.
Well, I don't know. I don't get into all this psychology stuff. The thing is, they're employers. I don't single out some employers and say that these employers are much, much worse than other employers or something like that. I'm just in favor of the working people, and the working people should have a right to organize.
Yes.
Now, it's very hard to organize when you are in a terrorizing situation. When your bosses are terrorists, which they are, then it's very hard for you to have the right to organize. You can't even find out about it. The other night, some people put leaflets on cars outside of a Walmart store, and Walmart immediately sent management flunkies out to take all the leaflets off the cars, which is, I guess it's legal for them to do that. I don't know, but they don't want their employees to find out that they could join an association and that they could do something, much less allow them to actually do it. So you got to admit that Walmart employees live in terror.
Yep.
And certainly you can't blame them. That's why we call on other people that are not Walmart employees, and say, let's get together. Job of Justice is going to conduct a major endorsement drive. We got an endorsement drive already going on. We've been taking videos, YouTube videos, and Bonnie's one of them, and which people say, hello, I'm so-and-so, and I support the rights of the Walmart workers. One of the stars of all these videos, in my opinion, in fact, a star for Texas labor, is the County Judge Clay Jenkins. County Judge Clay Jenkins came to the Central Labor Council meeting on Thursday night. Somebody got up immediately and presented a letter of tribute to him and pledged to campaign for his next campaign.
Good.
That was the Transport Workers Union.
Good.
And the whole thing endorsed him for his next election.
Wow.
So they endorsed County Judge Clay Jenkins, and they just couldn't say enough good things about him either, Bonnie. They said that he helped picket American Airlines for a good deal for the American Airlines workers. I guess that's why the Transport Workers Union likes him so much. He stood up for the minimum wage. President Obama has proposed a big jump in the minimum wage, and Clay Jenkins has come out for it. And something that the postal workers really love is that he helped save the Dallas post office.
He did.
By the way, he said that fight's not over.
I know.
So we're going to have to remain vigilant because they really do want to close the Dallas post office. They have a good reason. They have a really good reason. Money. There's lots of money in the site where the Dallas post office is. It's right on the edge of Dallas.
Oh, and that's the fastest growing, I would think, new part of Dallas.
Yeah, the new bridge goes over there.
The Fort Worth Avenue in Sylvan is just developed.
So that real estate
incredibly.
is worth a lot of money, and the management is just dying to get their hands on it, and so they want to close the Dallas post office. And that would put 1,100 people out of work, according to what County Judge Clay Jenkins said. I don't know if it put them out of work or just make them have to move or something. But anyway, he said there were 1,100 jobs, and he said 470-something of them were veterans. So he was very much interested in trying to keep those people and those jobs And he said that we were going to have to continue doing that.
Yeah, because the post office really would like to move that particular functions that the Dallas post office does. They want to move that to Alliance. Because they think that will make it more.
Yeah, but I bet you real estate she's a lot cheaper out there. That's
You
what they're
can
really
bet on
thinking
it.
about.
Exactly.
They're really thinking, we'll get this real estate downtown, and then put them out in the country somewhere.
There you go.
And then we'll be richer.
Yeah, we'll be richer, and guess what? Our service still stinks.
If you're getting tired of management getting richer, which is just happening, it's the norm now that working people are paying through the nose, and the bosses are getting richer and richer and richer. That's what we say when the 1% and the 99%. We're the 99%, and we're losing out. The 1% is stacking up the dough.
We have to, and I want to make sure folks understand, management. We're not talking about your first line manager, your second line manager, or even your third line manager. We're talking about upper management, the senior leadership of your company, depending on where you work. I mean, there are some companies out there that the CEOs take reasonable salaries and treat their customer or their employees better. Costco is one. He takes a very nominal salary and gives back the profits to his employees. It's a novel concept.
So some employers are better than other employers.
Yes.
And to me, they're all employers.
Well, that's true too.
and,
Yes.
I'm always for the working people. They should get a better deal, and the only way to do that is to organize. They don't have to. You could organize, and you could say, like for example, Walmart. You could get all the Walmart workers organized, and then take a vote, and they might say, let's go on contributing. Let's go on giving this money to the Walton family and see if they can get over 2/5 of the wealth in America. Because they already got something like 37%, or is it 40%?
I think it's close to 40.
Let's see if we can bring them up to 50%.
Because then all the poor people will be happy.
Because the poor people are happy when rich people get money.
Yeah.
Yes, that's been the slogan ever since Reagan was elected in 1980.
And it's
if you want to
about-
make poor people happy, give more money to rich people.
There you go. There you go.
972-647-1893.
That's the answer. And then we have the trickle down theory.
It's the same theory, isn't it?
Yeah. But well, I can't tell you what. A friend of mine, when we were in D.C. one time, we were in John Cornyn's office. This is when his office was in the annex, and it was, kind of a funky trailer thing with. And
before he got so important.
Yeah, before he got so important.
Before he got 3 pensions.
Yeah. That was the first time I think I was asked to leave his office. Anyway, one of our guys from El Paso, the intern was telling us how things worked, and basically talking about the trickle-down theory. And the young man from El Paso said, "Man, you got to stop telling us that it's raining when you are peeing on our heads." And the young man was quite taken aback. He had no idea what to do, and we were asked to leave. But then John felt bad, and he went back and apologized. I said, "Dude, don't ever apologize." But that's what it's all about. This has been going on for years.
Right. Okay, if you have a problem with your job, there's a new website. It's pretty good. It's called fixmyjob.com.
Really?
I got this from the AFL-CIO website. Fixmyjob.com. And what you do is you go to that website and you describe the conditions and situation at your job. And I think what they do is they're probably creating a database and seeing, who's organizable and who's not. I didn't really get that far with it because I don't have a job, so I didn't fill that out.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you don't have a job. I understand. I don't have a job.
Fixmyjob.com. It sounds like a good deal. Now, the minimum wage. We talked about the minimum wage a while ago because the 25th, which is Tuesday, will be the 75th anniversary of the Fair Labor Standards Act.
Wow.
Which established the first minimum wage. This was during a time when working people were up in arms, There were tens of thousands of people on the streets, including in this area. And one of the things that they got was the first minimum wage. However, after decades of infrequent and inadequate increases, the real value of the minimum wage has eroded. Now, real value means after inflation. In other words, $5 today is not the same thing as $5 a long time ago. And $5.75 is not the same thing as it was a long time ago. So the minimum wage has eroded and become less than poverty.
Well, I mean, let's look at it's $7.25, $7.50, something like that.
Whatever it is.
That's. I mean, even Walmart pays better than that.
Now, productivity and corporate profits have risen dramatically, and the minimum wage is stuck. So President Obama is quite right, and County Judge Clay Jenkins is quite right in saying they ought to raise it up to $9 an hour right now. They also ought to put some kind of a index on it so that it goes up with inflation.
Yes.
That was the big problem with the minimum wage, is they didn't index it to inflation. And if they had of, it would have risen over the years and be some kind of a
real living
wage now.
Yeah.
But now, if you make a living wage, you're in poverty. There's an entrepreneur and venture capitalist named Nick Hanauer who talked to Bloomberg. That's a news service, and he said that he wants a $15 minimum wage. And this is coming from one of the bosses.
That would actually be a fair minimum wage.
Here's a quote from Nick Hanauer. The fundamental law of capitalism is that if workers have no money, businesses have no customers.
Duh.
So, if people had a little bit more money to spend, this economy would take off like crazy.
Yes, sir.
But they don't, and so that's why the stock market is going in the toilet the last few days, and people are quite worried about this. 972-647-1893 if you have an opinion. When they have an earthquake in California, they always ask, is this the big one? And the same thing is true with the stock market and the economy. Is this the big one? 972-647-1893. It's time for your opinion. You can say that this is the big one, or you can say that it's not. If it is the big one, then what should you do?
What do we do now?
It's no point buying gold, I'll tell you that, because gold and silver also are going into the toilet. And you can't just shift your money from stocks to bonds, because bonds are going in the toilet. This all kicked off, I think it was on Tuesday, because the chairman of the Federal Reserve said that the economy is going well.
So we're not going to have any more stimulus.
So when he said the economy is going well, immediately everything went in the toilet. And the reason is because of the rest of the sentence. He said that everything is going well, so sometime in 2014, we might quit shoveling a bunch of money in, what they call quantitative easing or stimulus money. In other words, they've been putting several billions into the economy every week. And it adds up to a whole lot of money. And some people will say, well, that's inflationary. You can't just print money and it will cause inflation. And it will if people are spending the money. But they're not spending the money.
Because they don't have it.
No, well, the people who would spend it don't have it.
Right.
The ones that have got it are just letting it pile up.
Exactly.
972-647-1893 if you want to call us. We'll be right back.
Recycle Revolution is a local recycling collection service and community drop-off center. They collect and accept all traditional recyclables, including paper, plastic, aluminum, cardboard, and glass, as well as TVs, computers, lamps, light bulbs, batteries, ballasts, and styrofoam. They offer collection services to apartments, condos, and businesses. They also offer a community drop-off located at 1703 Chestnut Street in Dallas. For more information, 214-566-3025 or recyclerevolutiondallas.com.
It's a Knon Crawfish Party. This is Jim Bro of Monday's Cajun Zydeco Music Party Show, inviting you to come out and join us for some great music and great crawfish this Sunday at Poor David's Pub. I will be your host, and we'll have the best in Zydeco music from JB and the Zydeco Posse. We'll have mangoes boiling up some massive bugs. These are live jumbo, perch, fresh crawfish coming at you spicy or radioactive with corn and potatoes. Advance tickets are only $5 at knon.org, and crawfish is only $6 per pound, all proceeds benefiting KNON.
This is JB, and yeah, you're right. It's Sunday, June the 23rd at Port Davis Pub, located at 1313 South Lamar in Dallas. Doors are open at 5, and Jim Bro will be in the mix with Cajun and Zydeco music until me and the Zydeco Posse hit the stage.
So come on down to the KNON Crawfish Boil this Sunday with JB and the Zydeco Posse and live crawfish from Mangoes at Port David's Pub. This is a KNON benefit event. See you, Shaq.
This is William, your videographer for the KNON talk shows. You can watch Workers Beat by going to knon.org website. Click on schedules to the left side of your screen. Choose Workers Beat's page. Scroll to the bottom of the page, then choose your favorite show to watch or download. This show will be ready for viewing by lunchtime Tuesday. Have a great day.
I wake up in the morning at 4:45. The alarm clock is relentless, for goodness sake.
We're back on the Workers Beat. Gene Lantz and Bonnie Mathias, 972-647-1893. If you would like to be with us, and you can if you want to. Here's what I announced at the Central Labor Council meeting last Thursday. They have a section at the end where they go reports from locals. Mm-hmm. I got up and said that the main plant that UAW 848 organizes is closing, and negotiations are trying to decide what's going to happen to the workers. Are they going to be able to stay in the union? Are they going to be able to follow the work wherever it goes? Are they going to get a good deal if they get laid off? And I'm really proud to say that my union has already won. If there are layoffs, they're going to get trade adjustment allowance benefits, which is really good. You get like twice as much unemployment as normal, and you get a whole bunch of training options that are really good. And the union has to do that, and they already did it. My union, UAW 848, cares about people even if they get laid off and can't vote in the union anymore. The problem out there began when the United States Navy, which has always owned that land. They owned the land back in the 30s when that plant was built, and they have always owned it, but they decided to get rid of it. So they sold it cheap. I don't know how many acres it is. It's a bunch of acres. It's big. But they sold it for $354,000. And then the investor turned around and said, okay, you can stay there, but I'm going to charge you millions and millions of dollars in rent. So he wanted to make all of his money back right away. And the company said, we ain't paying millions and millions and millions of dollars. We're going to shut this plant down. And that's the way it looks right now.
Do you know where the work is going to go?
Just imagine the suffering. There's about 2,500 people. Yeah. Counting salary employees, I'll bet there's 3,500 people working out there that have no idea what's going to happen to them.
Do you know where the work is going?
There's different rumors, and I'm not qualified to say. I'm just a retiree out there, so it's not up to me. Now, at Southwest Airlines, I understand, from Texas Transport Workers Union Local 555, I understand that they are trying to take away our health care. Southwest Airlines is usually thought of as a good employer. Right. They're the most organized. They have more unions than any other airline, and they're also the most profitable airline.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It can be done.
Sure it can. But why
do they want to do that with the benefits?
But they want the problem with bosses is no matter how much money they make, they always want to make more. And one way to make more is to take away your health care. So apparently that's what they're working on. It
seems like a lot of these major corporations are looking at either charging more for benefits or putting people into more expensive plans where the deductibles are higher, or the co-pays are higher.
Or the health care is just not as good.
Right. And it all looks like it's in preparation for the Affordable Health Care Act, which will go fully into effect in 2014.
But it's not.
I know it's not.
They're using that for an excuse.
Exactly.
They're using it for an excuse. What this is all about is cuts, brothers and sisters. CUTS. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know when you're getting cuts. And cuts are what they have in mind so they can make even more money. And as I pointed out a while ago, they're already making, the top 1% is already making 20% of the income, and they already have 35% of the country's wealth. I need some good news, and I found some here in my notes.
Thank you.
The Workers' Defense Project has announced that the payroll fraud bill got past Governor Perry. He's vetoing a bunch of important stuff that he should not have been vetoing, but he didn't veto this. It's House Bill 2015, and it creates penalties for employers who misclassify their employees as independent contractors on state contracts. So in other words, they tell somebody, you're not really an employee. You better do everything I tell you. You better jump when I say frog. But you're not an employee. You're an independent contractor, and so you're not entitled to any benefits or any decent treatment or anything else. So they misclassify the employees that way. And this hallmark legislation, according to the Workers' Defense Project, this hallmark legislation marks the first time Texas has ever enacted a law creating a penalty for misclassification of workers as independent contractors. So congratulations and kudos to the Workers' Defense Project of Austin and of
awesome.
Dallas.
How'd they get him to sign it?
He probably didn't notice it,
They just kind of signed the one through. Okay.
There was some
Don't
news
tell him
release.
yet.
Yeah, there was some news release that when he was vetoing stuff, he got mixed up and vetoed some of the wrong stuff and let some of the right stuff go through.
I know that was a oops.
Yeah, that's not one of his oops moments.
Yeah.
What he did veto, it was shocking. He vetoed the Public Integrity Unit, which was investigating him.
Imagine that. Well, no, we're just not going to give him any money.
Well, there were a bunch of his main contributors that were involved in this horrendous scandal.
CPRIT.
Over the CPRIT cancer organization was supposed to be solving the problem of cancer, but instead they were doling out the money to big contributors of Governor Perry and Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst. And both of them are involved in appointing the oversight board on that.
Oh, my.
So it's not a surprise that the money's all flowing their way. But what is a surprise and a shock, and nobody would think that Goof Perry would be this blatant in what he's doing. The people that were investigating was the District Attorney's Office of
Travis
Austin
County,
which is called the Public Integrity Unit. It's one of their jobs.
Right.
So they were investigating this and looking into it, and Governor Perry, Goof Perry, has just sawed their legs off right up to the hip.
$9.7 million gone.
So they no longer have the funding to do this job. And he had an excuse. His excuse was that he didn't like the district attorney.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Because she wouldn't resign.
Yeah, he wanted her to resign. He said, I won't veto this if she'll resign.
Well, she said, why would I resign?
Yeah, she was going to go ahead with her investigation.
Absolutely.
And Goof Perry went ahead and vetoed her. Another one that really hurt people is he vetoed the Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. Most of the states have done this. It has to do with women being able to get decent pay. It has to do with their being able to sue if they find out that men are getting paid more than they are purely on the basis of gender. And this cuts them off from being able to carry out those lawsuits. And Governor Perry, this is consistent though. I think he's been against the female sex for his whole life, and I wonder what his relationship to his mother is. Because they say that psychologically that's got a lot to do with how you are. Because Governor Perry has been pretty bad about that, and of course they're very, very eager, and Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst has been bragging about the way they're going to stop women's right to abortion in the state of Texas. 972-647-1893. I'm not the only one with opinions, and
Come on, guys.
You have some too.
Give us a call, 972-647-1893.
Well, we've got plenty of opinions to go. It's not like we're running out.
No, we don't run out of stuff. We have lots. It's really sad, the things that have happened this last week.
Yeah. Not everything is bad, though. The Supreme Court ruled
Oh,
the
that's
Supreme
right.
Court ruled that states may not require prospective voters to produce proof of citizenship to register to vote.
That's right. That came
this
out of
was-
Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona was going to try to make it harder for people to vote. And the New York Times report that in a 7-2 ruling, the Supreme Court tossed aside the Arizona law and said that federal law, they said that Arizona cannot sit over there and make federal law. They keep trying to do that.
Well, Governor Arpaio, isn't that funny?
That's the sheriff. He's the sheriff.
He's the sheriff. Sheriff Arpaio and Governor Bonyfinger. That's one of the ladies on Sirius XM calls Governor Brewster Governor Bonyfinger. You know, she, from the time when she got in Obama's face at the airport and pointed her finger in his face.
We did get a call, Bonnie, but
they don't want to talk.
They didn't want
us?
to talk on the air.
Oh.
He did want to call me a liar and didn't say exactly which lies I was telling, but he did want to know why I was lying. So maybe I could just pass that on to you, Bonnie. Why do I lie?
I don't know, man. Why do I didn't hear any lies.
Well,
I heard truth, justice, and the American way.
Somebody could call maybe if you have an
You
opinion.
know, if you really truly have an opinion, don't be afraid to say it on the air, because that's kind of chicken.
Would we require them to say their name?
Absolutely not. You can be anonymous if you want to. We
Their
don't
name
care.
and address?
No.
So we could come over to their house, with our
Yeah,
goons?
right. Yeah.
Do you have any goons?
No, sir.
I know you're a union officer,
I am.
but I always heard they had goons.
No, I don't think I have any goons.
You don't have any goons?
No. Well,
Nancy Hall's not one of your goons?
no. I might be one of hers.
Nancy Lee? I don't have any goons either.
No.
And I'm a union officer. I'm
kind of bummed out. Where do you get those?
I'm a chairman of retirees.
Yeah?
I'm not the chairman of UAW
UAW,
48,
yeah.
but I am
But thanks for the
chairman of
promotion.
retirees.
Thanks for the promotion.
Maybe that's what he thought I was lying about. Okay, Lexi's on. Come on, put him on. Thanks for calling KNON.
How you doing?
Okay.
All right. They trying to stop women from having an abortion, right?
Yeah, they're trying to make it impossible or almost impossible. Yeah.
Why don't they require all men to get cut?
Yeah, they could require men to get castrated, couldn't they? I had never thought of
No,
that.
no, not castrated. Vasectomy.
No, not castrated.
Like, damn, Gene, you are really serious.
No, no, not that far gone. We know they get stiff so they can't have a kid.
All right.
Yeah.
That is a brilliant thought.
I think so too.
I had never thought of that.
That's what the women still do.
Yeah, So why put it on the women?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on the men instead, and just say we require a certain number of men to get vasectomies when they get 14.
There you go.
Yeah, 14 up. Yeah, that'll work.
Maybe they could call. Maybe they could call for volunteers.
Yeah. I got some I'd like to volunteer. Thank you, Lexi. That's great.
Right.
Thank you. That's really funny. I like
That
that.
is
That's
brilliant.
not a bad idea.
The truth is, they do though. They put it all on women, don't
Yep.
they?
It's all,
Everything falls on
it's all the women's fault,
Yeah, and they're trying to get equal wages.
Yeah,
That's
well,
one of the bad things.
David
I wonder if
and I-
that's one of the lies that I told.
Oh, maybe.
I
don't
can't
know.
keep track.
David and I talked about that last week on the second hour he and I did together. We did Get Off My Lawn for Jim. And it was really good. I mean, he said, of course, women don't deserve to have, equal pay. We talked about that quite a bit, yeah. But David's okay. We worked it all out after the show. Everything was fine. He does believe that women should have equal pay now.
Well, Lexi got an interesting idea on this whole abortion
Yeah,
issue. Just bring the men in and get out the razors.
Snip, snip.
Yeah.
Party's over.
On June the 21st, on this June 21st of 1864, 21 young women and girls were killed during the Civil War in an accidental explosion. They were making cartridges.
Oh, man.
And on June 17th of 1873, Susan B. Anthony went on trial in a place that I can't pronounce, Canandaigua, New York. She voted
Oh, that's right.
And so she was put on trial for having voted in violation of the existing statutes barring women from the vote.
Yep.
So
it's treasonous.
Yeah. So, that's a funny thing. Some of the greatest people in American history were criminals, weren't they?
That's right. That's right. Just like you and me.
They did crimes. Well, just think about Harriet Tubman, for example, one of the great criminals of American history.
Mm-hmm.
She was actually stealing people's property.
Yep.
Because the Southerners owned those slaves,
and
they had papers on them, and they said, that's my property, and you were running off with it. That's absolute stealing.
Yep.
And so just think, Harriet Tubman, one of the greatest of Americans, was actually a criminal.
Man.
During her time. I guess the thing is to try to keep track of what your time is and do better.
Right.
Erin's on the phone. Bring her on. Glad to hear from you. Thanks for calling KNON.
Thank you. I'm just calling to give my opinion about the whole abortion issue that's going on. I just cannot believe the war on women that's happening right now in Texas, and it's absolutely disgusting.
Yes,
we have done absolutely nothing other than have reproductive systems to deserve this type of treatment. And the fact that they're trying to restrict abortion, they have no idea the economic impact that's going to happen 20 years from now from this.
How is that going to be? I don't understand. What's the economic
because
impact?
You're going to have more unwanted children out there, and they're going to grow up, and unfortunately they might be in their prime age because let's be honest, most the abortion statistics stated that a lot of most women are in unfortunate situations financially, and they unfortunately can't raise their children.
Right.
And now they're going to grow up in these poor neighborhoods, and you're just expanding a problem that's already here. Why not educate the public? Why not? If you allow affordable or free contraception, that eliminates the problem right there, because there goes an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I just don't understand why women are targeted. Well, actually, I can't understand it, but just leave us alone.
What did you think? What did you think of Lexi's suggestion? The guy that just called.
I think it's great. If you're going to target a woman, why don't you just snip them in?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, go for it.
Snip them in. At least it'd be a little more equal than it is now.
Get a equal footing here.
Still wouldn't be fair, but.
And Erin, I see exactly what you're saying. It's a circle of poverty that we're just perpetuating. Exactly. And Planned Parenthood said that this law that they're trying to pass will close clinics all over the state. So there will be no affordable place for a woman to go for health care.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's just it's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
It's disgusting. We have done nothing to deserve to be treated this way in our own state.
Well, we were born women. That's it in his mind,
well,
unfortunately.
Erin, there are more women voters than there are men. So my question is, do you think that Governor Perry will have to pay for this?
I hope he does.
Oh, I hope so.
You think it's going to come out in the next election?
Oh, I hope so.
I hope he does. If we can get the women to vote, and if we can get the subservient women to come off of this,
right?
Yeah,
right.
Do you think women are kind of afraid to come out and say anything?
Some.
The women I speak with aren't, but I don't know. I guess so. I don't understand why. I don't understand why you can allow a man to tell you, a man who's never had a menstrual cycle, a man who's never had cramps, a man who's never had to shoot a baby out of his, vagina. I don't understand how you're allowing that man to tell you you have no control over your reproductive rights.
Right.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
It doesn't sound fair. It's not fair. And yet this is being perpetrated. It's not just in Texas, but I think Texas may be the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was one
Kansas.
state, I can't remember, the 6-week rule now they have in one state. I can't remember which state it was. Sorry, but they banned abortions or something like that after 6 weeks of.
Kansas has got some really archaic laws on their books and getting worse.
Oh, God.
I believe the Supreme Court ruled against one of the abortion states, something about abortion in one state. It's it's insane to look at the Tea Party, and that's seriously where it's coming from, is the Tea Party.
Yes, backlash from Obama being president. It's unbelievable. Why target women of all people? It's just disgusting.
It is disgusting. We have to stand up, and we
Yes, we
have to vote and get these clowns out of office.
Is that the answer?
Absolutely.
I believe it's the answer. Absolutely. Unless we have a revolution, which, that may be coming too.
Oh, yeah.
It seems pretty clear to me, though, that this has been going on for some time, and yet these guys have not been turned out of office by women voters.
Yeah.
And I don't quite understand that. So I'm hoping that women will make their voices known in future elections, but I think in the past they haven't.
2014.
It's also about being educated as well. It's also about being educated as well. Some women don't know what's happening because they just don't tune into, the news, and it's unfortunate. That's unfortunate as well. And if we get more women educated about what is going on, then we can help mitigate some of this.
I agree. I think you're exactly right. I think it has a lot to do with education. And, that's one thing I have to give Planned Parenthood a lot of credit for. They have, you don't just go in there and get a women's health care checkup. You get information.
Yes,
they talk to you. I mean, and that's the whole thing. We have to educate each other.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron. Have a great day.
And we'll be back next week.
I'll be back next week. Gene won't. Have a good week.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.